Welcome to another edition of Dad's Divorce Live. I'm Matt Allen, editor of DadsDivorce.com. Today I'm talking with Dr. Edward Stevens, internationally recognized psychiatrist and physician who is also the founder of the Foundation for Male Studies. His organization is holding its second annual conference on male studies on April 6th in New York City. It'll also be available online for those of you not in the area for you to attend it virtually. For more information about the foundation and the conference, you can visit the website malestudies.org. Dr. Stevens, thanks for joining me today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you, Matt. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too. First off, why did you create the Foundation for Male Studies, and how is it different from gender studies?
You know, Matt, I've been working on this going back to, I would say, the 80s. And at first I was very, very seriously interested in empowering women. And I was even a member of NOW. Over the years then I began to discover how unempowered men were and then how disenfranchised they were. And always I tried to look to see what the root causes are. And of course there are many, many causes for this, but one of the pieces that I came upon was that there are 400 programs for women's studies at our colleges and universities across the United States. 78 give master's programs, 13 give PhD programs, and there are 2 little programs for men's studies, and neither of them are degree granting. So I said, wait a minute, if we are going to turn this situation around, if we are going to create some public information, some public awareness, we have to start with our universities. We have to start with programs that are devoted to understanding men and males.
Well, I'm curious to know, what is your view of feminism?
Well, you know, I have cleaned up my act recently. I don't use the F word anymore.
Okay.
No, for me, I don't speak using the F word. I speak about gynocentrism. And gynocentrism means a world view that it comes from the woman's point of view, is centered on the woman's point of view, develops around the woman's interest. And to my way of thinking, gynocentrism is like walking on one leg. If you only have one leg, you don't walk, you hop. You hop, you hop, you hop. And so when you say to me, well, what about this gynocentric view of life? I say this is leaving us just hopping along in life when we really want to walk along together as men and women.
Well, what do you say to your critics who feel that the Foundation for Male Studies is very anti-female?
Well, the first thing I say is they haven't read my site. They haven't gone to the site because there isn't an anti-female piece of information on it. As a matter of fact, what we have on there is actually a call to men and women to come out and to assist in this. You know, just today I was at Dominican College here in New York City, and I gave a talk on the other half of gender, which the other half of gender comes from the title of the World Bank book, The Other Half of Gender, which talked about what happens when you when you give grants to only women and women and children. Eventually, what happens is it degrades the entire social structure. It disenfranchises the men so that there is no longer a cohesive unity between the men and the women, the village culture, the culture of that particular society. So, in other words, gynocentrism is destructive of the fabric of our society.
Now, what are some of the, I guess, biggest troubling issues that are facing men in today's world, and how do we overcome these deficits?
there are no dumb blonde jokes anymore. Well, wait a minute. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Well, it means that misogyny is out. Nobody's making fun of women anymore. At the same time, what happened? How could this be the answer that there are no dumb blonde jokes anymore? Well, it might make sense if I told you that misandry was the new in thing. And then I would say, take a look at your advertising.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard a smart guy joke or saw a positive newspaper article about a man or a boy?
Yeah.
Now, since there were no good things being said about men, it's very, very hard to gain any kind of traction, any place. So what's happening? We see a degradation of the male infrastructure of society.
The point you're bringing up, I mean, do you feel like advertisers and media portrayal of men, I mean, is that one of the big problems that men have to overcome, that we're sort of seen as, if you ever watch like a Bud Light commercial, you've never seen a man portrayed as a smart guy. It's always sort of this bumbling idiot.
That's the point. Now, you see, this is institutionalized, open hatred of men, misandry. And that's what is currently accepted.
Well, finally, before I let you go, I want to talk about the upcoming conference. What will be covered at the conference? How can people attend? Why should they want to log onto their computers and attend it virtually? Could you just sort of give a summary of the...
Yes, absolutely. Well, what I'm trying to do is create some real scholarship, bring some real scholarship to this. So, for instance, I've got Tom Mortensen he's a senior researcher at the Pell Institute. Gordon Finley is going to talk on the creation of a policy for fathers and fatherhood that will bring us into the next century. Michael Gilbert from the Annenberg Center, he's a senior researcher there. He's going to talk about the disposable male. Paul Nathanson and Catherine Young from Montreal University are going to talk about misandry. And then we have Matthew Wilcox and Matthew Palmer from Draft FCB. That's a major advertising firm. They're going to speak about the advertising industry's past and current depictions of males and the consequences of this. Now, how can people get to this? If they go to the malestudies.org, the website, and go on to the events page, they can sign up there. And we have this. It's not only people can attend this. It's being held at the New York Academy of Medicine in New York City, April 6th, from 10 to 1. But it is also being broadcast internationally as a webinar,
Right.
so that people can either sign up for the webinar and see it on their own computers at home, or they could actually come in person.
Well, and we're going to be talking to several of the speakers that will be at the conference, so our viewers will want to look forward to that. Well, Ed, that's all I had for you. I appreciate the time, and thank you very much for joining me.
I sign all my correspondence looking forward. I'm looking forward to doing more. I'm looking forward to reversing this process. I'm looking forward for all of us as a society to be walking on two legs.
Great. That's Ed Stevens, the founder of the Foundation for Male Studies. You can learn more about Dr. Stevens and his foundation, and also register for the webinar conference on the second annual conference on male studies by visiting the website malestudies.org. That'll do it for this edition of Dad's Divorce Live. I'm Matt Allen, editor of DadsDivorce.com.